Hello students. Today's presentation is for BA part first year paper first English literature. This is a poem prescribed by MGS University. Ode on Solitude. Ode on Solitude is a poem by the neoclassical poet Alexander Pope. Let's start reading this poem. The theme, as its title indicates, this is an ode. Ode is a serious poem on an important topic, and the poet chose here talking about solitude. Solitude means ekant sthan, shant sthan. If we talk in Hindi, this poem is about solitude, about living in villages in rural life and living in a peaceful atmosphere or in a peaceful area. This poem is written in the time of in 17th century or neoclassical time, but that was also a time of transition from neoclassical to romanticism, and this theme, solitude or the living in rural life, is a prominent theme of romantic era. Let's read the poem, the first stanza. As I read, happy the man whose wish and care a few paternal acre bound, content to breathe his native air in his own ground. Written in a descriptive way, in a way of address. That poet says, a man is happy whose action and whose movement or activity is limited to his paternal field or his paternal village, to a limited area, and he is content to breathe his native air in his own ground, and who is living in his farm or in his field, that is a limited area of his life, and he is living life a peaceful life, that is living in a village or in the company of nature, whose herds with milk, whose field with bread, whose flocks supply him with attire, whose trees in summer yield him shade, in winter fire. And how the natural phenomena or natural surrounding supply all the things that a man need when a person lives in a surrounding of nature, unlimited, and he's confined himself in a farm or field. That poet shows his deep desire to living in such a palace, that his surrounding and his farm supply all the things which he need, the basic need of a human beings, that food and shelter. That herds with milk, the supply of milk, and with bread, and flocks supply him attire and his clothes, as we can say in Hindi, that roti, kapda and makan. All is provided by the cattle provides him milk, bread from his field, and the clothes from the skin of his cattle or the sheep, whose trees in summer yield him shade, and the time of summer he can rest under trees, and in winter the logs provide for fire. So everything is sufficient in his area, and he can live peacefully and a life of contentment. Third stanza, blessed who can unconcernedly find hours, days and years slide soft away, in health of body, peace of mind, quite by day. And how peacefully his cycle of life goes on. How can he spend all his days, years, months doing his natural course of life peacefully, contentedly? He can pass his time, and he's blessed because he have no worry and no any issues related to the modern life. Hours, days, and years slide soft away, and all time is passed softly. In health of body, peace of mind. The fourth stanza. Sound sleep by night, study and ease together makes sweet creation, an innocence which most does please with meditation. In this stanza, the poet describes the benefit and the living system, a person living in a rural areas, in a remote areas, in his contented life, how he lives, that he enjoys sound sleep by night and study and ease, and he is free from all worries and struggles of life. Together mixed sweet recreation, and he can recollect, he creates writing and he enjoy life. And innocence which most does please, and life of innocence and as a platitude with meditation, and he can live a life with peace, ease, and recreation. The last stanza. Thus let me live unseen, unknown, thus unlamented let me die, steal from the world and not a stone, tell where I lie. In the whole the poem, at the last we find the climax, or this poem can be presented as the different stanza represents the different stages of life. The last stanza indicate the last spell or the last phase of a person, and if a person live in rural or in remote areas, contented to his boundary or in his farm, how would be his life? The poet says, in this type of life would be a life of unseen, unknown, and this will be very pleasing, and poet want to live the type of life that is unseen, unknown, and a simple. Thus unlamented let me die, and poet will be unlamented if he could live in this way, without being known to all, or without being indulged in the other activities, contented to his field or his farm or um, in rural areas. Steal from the world, not a stone, tell where I lie, and poet that after my death raise there no stone, no tombstone on my no tombstone on his grave. The poet says that if I die, raise there no stone, describing about me, that I want to live an unknown and unseen life that is peaceful and a life of contentment. So this was the poem written in simple manner, in narrative method. The poem is reflective and express poet's desire of living in a life of solitude. Thank you for watching.